Hey everybody, before we get into the podcast, I just want to let you know about our sponsor. It's a film called Sir John A. and the Curse of the Antiquenched. It's a fun film you can get on Vimeo On Demand right now for only $2.99. Check out curseoftheantiquenched.com. All right, we're back with another news episode, the news stuff that we're titling Old News. So this is some stuff that you guys have probably already heard about, but we're doing our little take on it. First up, Matt, how have you been?
Good.
Are you bubbling? We're in the bubble phase now.
What does that mean? What's the bubbling phase?
Well, Matt, if you have friends or family that you trust, you can bubble with them. So you can hang out on the weekends or any other designated time to hang out.
Is that a thing now?
Yeah.
When was this made available? No one told me.
Well, the province of Ontario told you.
Oh, well, they didn't tell me personally, so I didn't know.
Yeah,
Sorry.
They didn't come door to door, I'll tell you that.
We'd like to tell you about our Lord, the Bubble.
Yeah, our Lord, the Bubble. Yeah, so you can like hang out. It's been actually kind of neat. Like, it's been nice to like hang out with some family and not be super afraid of getting the Rona. You know?
The Rona, is that what it's called now?
I don't know. That's
the Rona scare of 20.
Yeah, you know, like Corona beers, like probably took a big kick to the to the peener holes.
Yeah.
Maybe Rona, the hardware
Home
store.
Depot. Yeah, Rona. Yeah.
I don't know.
Only time will tell.
Only time will tell. Yeah.
We're not here about Rona.
No.
We are here to talk to you about Marvel.
Marvel, yeah. Let's go that way before we get into more Batman and only talk about Batman for an hour. Marvel Comics acquires the Alien Predator rights from, I guess.
I mean, it was only a matter of time, right? Because like Disney bought out Fox, so they did become a Disney property, and then I guess the Marvel Comics is now going to be starting some new Predator and Alien franchised
so no
comics.
more Batman and the Predator or anything like that. So if you owned one of those comics, which have you ever read the Batman versus the Predator? It's pretty great.
I have not. No.
Yeah, it's a great comic. But you could do a bunch. You know, you can have Predator and
Did you see the cover photo with like the Predator with like the Iron Man mask? Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
That's going to be neat. Yeah, a lot of people think that it might be kind of a starting ground to seeing if there's any interest on it for maybe potential films. Disney.
Yeah, you know what?
Made films. Obviously, they're not going to be under the Walt Disney title, but
no, they can't do that.
Under their 20th century, I think it's going to be called.
Okay, is that where they're going to be able to do more R-rated stuff? Because that was my concern with this. Is like Alien and Predator have always been R-rated movies and comics.
I mean, I will say like Alien versus Predator was a PG-13 movie, and we've done it before, and we've talked about it. I enjoyed that movie. So you don't have to be going full R.
I know it seems like
I think it could be obviously going full R. Things like Shane Black's The Predator doesn't always turn out so well either.
No.
So
yeah, I don't know. It is interesting. I mean, it'll have a good home there at least, and they'll take it seriously. But
hopefully. I mean, they said they don't want to play with Deadpool and like change him too much. So hopefully that's true to the Predator and Alien franchise as well.
Yeah, so Deadpool stayed in R, so maybe this will stay in R as well. It's interesting too. Like you think about all the Alien movies that were made, and like I don't know, people did all this stuff with it, and there's that South African director there. The guy did District 9. The Blomkamp guy, I think his name.
Yeah, did he do an Alien movie?
Well, he was supposed to. He was set to do the Prometheus thing. It was completely different, I guess. It was like, I don't know, according to people who read the script, said it was way better.
Really?
Yeah, I know people liked what they ended up happening with that trilogy.
Everyone's still waiting on District 10, so.
Yeah. I love that movie. District 9 was great. So
it's great. I liked, and I mean, I don't know if those movies did well, but I liked them. I liked Chappie and the Matt Damon one with the exoskeleton.
Yeah, that Matt Damon one really felt like a
I
80s
really
action
liked it.
movie, like
Yeah,
cool sci-fi, just
felt like those Netflix sci-fi movies on a budget,
yeah.
but good. You know what I mean? But you know what I'm talking about, right? Like Netflix has like a crap ton of like those like sci-fi movies. I kind of feel the same kind of way that those movies did. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I mean, I enjoyed
No.
Chappie, and I can't for the life of me I can't remember the name of that movie.
I'll look it up in a second. But
But
like Marvel wants to do the What If series on Disney Plus and the Aliens and
yeah,
Predators. That'd be a
when is that
perfect.
happening? Like,
I'm sure everything is
honestly,
on
I got
hiatus,
Disney
but
Plus for a lot of things, and a lot of it was like in regards to the Marvel stuff, and they announced everything. But then like when Disney Plus came out, they're like, and this is when it's happening, and it's just like, oh, it's not for another like year.
have you watched
But then
Hamilton
of
yet?
course, no, I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, they just put it out.
On the list because everyone's saying Hamilton's so good. Well, I want to see it.
I've heard, yeah, I've only heard good things too, from
Yeah.
people that I thought might not like it. They've liked it, so.
I like musicals. I don't think I've ever seen like a Broadway musical filmed. Like I've never watched like a filmed like
Yeah,
Broadway
it's harder
thing.
when it's
But
filmed. Like I was supposed to go see it live when it was supposed to come.
really,
Yeah, but obviously Corona ruined that. But yeah, it's so I am happy I get to see it, but I was hoping to see it live. Like seeing something like that live is a lot of fun.
oh, I'm sure it's a different experience.
It's a show. But yeah, the Marvel What If Aliens, like you can do so much. Obviously, like just an Alien versus Predator thing. You could do whatever the Avengers in space, Secret Wars with aliens. Or
I mean, Marvel already has a lot of space situations, anyways. Bringing in the xenomorphs or the predators is not so far fetched when you've got things like Guardians of the Galaxy, that world within.
So the other thing to remember too, which this is maybe going too far, but Disney owns Marvel and Disney owns Star Wars. So there is a possibility you could have some type of alien predator Jedi crossover.
God, that would wow. I mean, I feel like that would not work tonally at all. But I mean, I could be wrong, right? Like you get the right person to do it, and who knows?
We might be sitting here when season 2 of Mandalorian comes out and be like, "Oh, we called it. You heard it here first. The Mandalorian is fighting aliens." But yeah, that'd be kind of interesting. Like remember that was that episode with was it Parks and Rec where the one guy he filibusters for so long, and it is basically like his plan to make like the Marvel Disney crossover with like Star Wars and Thanos and Darth Vader's fighting Thanos. Did you ever remember that?
No, I don't. No,
It's Patton
I watched Parks and
Oswalt.
Rec not too long ago.
It's Patton Oswalt. He's filibustering, but there's an extended cut of him doing this like improv Thanos versus Jedi whole thing, right?
Okay.
So he might not be far off with like Thanos. It gets teams up with the Predators, and
Yeah, I mean, all we need is to Simpsons to solidify our theory, and we're golden. It's gonna happen.
think about something like Secret Wars, like the what's the ones that can shapeshift there, the aliens in Marvel.
I forget to.
We saw them
Honestly, I haven't seen Captain Marvel in a while.
in Captain Marvel, but yeah, if they could shapeshift to look like an alien or a predator, and what that would, like that's some way they could like move it into that, like it's like
True.
you know.
I don't know. Well, I guess we'll have to see what happens. A lot of people are worried about Marvel losing its edge after the Infinity. I forget what's it called. Like is it just
It's essentially after the Disney buyout.
Infinity Saga? I think it's
Yeah,
called, but like the whole Thanos arc, right? Like that was like their main thing. Now everyone's kind of like, what's happening next? And we haven't really fully seen
we won't be able
what's
to. I
happening
think
next, and we won't be able to for a while either with the corona and everything getting pushed back. And
I
like,
know.
I want to see those shows happening. Like, come on, Disney Plus, like, give me some shit.
They're probably not able to film anything right now.
I
Like there's
know. I
like
mean, we're lucky. We're lucky we're getting Mandalorian season 2 because apparently that was all filmed before, so that's good.
at least the Mandalorian, he's always wearing the mask, right? So that's like at least on set he can be wearing the mask all the time. It's a little safer.
That's right. That's right.
But yeah, I don't
Pascal.
look. Marvel, like, they have so much money and they're able to take care of it. And DC has good comic level, but like it would be kind of cool to see Alien and Predator maybe in some of these animated shows. I don't know if Disney Plus would ever put that on there, but maybe Disney Plus needs to have like a R-rated section.
Disney Plus After Dark.
Yeah. I don't know, like, because there is a lot of their catalog, right?
Exactly. It's the Disney Plus
Plus,
like behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Section.
You got to put in an extra password, to get in there.
I mean, it would work, right? Like, you want to go visit the adult section of the video store. Like, you need the authorization. You need to go behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, moving on from that. This is a bit of
DC.
Yeah, back to DC. So Michael Keaton is supposed to be reprising his role of Batman in the Flash movie.
In the new Flash movie.
I've seen a lot of hate on that.
There's a lot of speculation, a lot of rumors happening on the Flash movie. Some people are saying like Ezra Miller might not be making it. Like he might be he might be removed and changed with someone else. There was rumors of that. I haven't checked up on it.
Yeah, because there was something to do with like he attacked a fan at a Comic-Con or something like that. I don't know the specifics of it, but
yeah, a lot of people are kind of giving him hate on that. So he might not even be the one taking over.
They should use
Flash.
The kid from the Flash TV show. He's great.
That guy's great. Or I mean, they might or they might not. Right? Like people, they try to stay away from the TV show, which is honestly DC right now's TV shows are almost better than their movies.
They are, yeah.
Like story wise, at least for consistency. Connecting it to the comics, I feel are more consistent.
Yeah, they're a lot more faithful. I will say there's a lot of fat in the DC shows, and it is because it's like CW and that Berlanti guy. It does have a bit of the teen drama kind of vibe to it that I could do without, but I know they have a lot of success because of that teen drama.
A lot of fun.
It does seem like the writers care about those characters though, and not just the Flash, but all the side characters and everything. So
yeah, but like I was saying, so there was rumors of that, and then there's rumors of Keaton becoming Batman because of course people are thinking it might be like I think it's supposed to be a Flashpoint movie, but of course. If I correct me, I haven't seen Flashpoint in a while, but essentially, Batman's not alive in the Flashpoint where he goes to, right? Like it's his dad.
There could be, there's a few versions, I think. Yeah, it is. So when the Flash goes back in time and then comes back to the future, there is
an alternate 1985.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, there is an older. There is a Batman, but it's Thomas Wayne, and the Joker is Martha Wayne because Bruce died in that alleyway.
Exactly, and like Thomas Wayne's all about like I don't give a fuck, I let him killing people kind of thing.
Yeah, he uses a gun.
It's like Negan as Batman. And it works because Jeffrey Dean Morgan is the one that's.
Well. So and then
it was Wayne and.
This is off topic a bit for the Michael Keaton stuff, but there is. Some photos that have been released of footage shot of the Justice League that it did look like that Henry Dean Morgan was in a bat suit at one point.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Yeah, is that what I said? Or I said something.
Said Henry.
Oh,
I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure it's Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
You're probably right.
I keep seeing his name when I'm watching The Walking Dead. Yeah, Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
So
Dean's dad.
Dean's dad.
Dean's dad.
So yeah, so I don't know. I've seen a lot of pushback of this online. People are shitting all over the idea of Michael Keaton reprising this role
I mean, I
of
think it might
Batman.
be because of the fact that it's changing Flashpoint. I don't know what the backlash is, but I can see it in that way. But in another way, it's like, listen, didn't they just the TV shows did like the Crisis on like Earth or whatever it's
Yeah, and
called?
they had
I haven't caught up to that yet. I'm trying to watch all. It's hard watching all the shows to catch up on that, and unfortunately, Arrow's not playing on any of the streaming sites I have. Uh,
it was playing
but
for
like
free
I
on
caught up like on
CTV for a while.
Supergirl, on Flash, on um, but yeah. So yeah, apparently there was a whole mix match of stuff on that one. Like people coming in from like shows like Smallville, and
Oh yeah, they had a
even like
lot.
the movies were connecting here and there. Like it
The
like at
guy who
least from
did
what
the
I was
famous guy
seeing.
who does the voice of Batman on the old cartoon and the games. His name escapes
Oh
me.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's coming in.
He came in to play Batman, I think. I heard it
So
was
yeah,
like a little lackluster because I think they shot their wad budget wise getting all these people, so they couldn't really afford to make a cool
right.
episode after that. But I think Brendan Roush reprised his role as Superman too, and I don't know. They tried it. They did a thing, but
They
like
tried to do so much. I haven't seen it, but yeah.
I think
So
what
I don't
people
know.
forget though, like with Batman, is you're not casting Batman. You're casting Bruce Wayne. And there's a younger, fit dude in a suit doing all the stunts and or it's CGI. So like, I don't know, like Michael Keaton when he played the Hawk guy,
Vulture.
the Vulture rather in
And Michael
Spider
Keaton
Man.
is great. I feel like Michael Keaton got like a revival like more recently, because he was kind of out of the spotlight. Because he was Batman. He was like popular in the '80s and early '90s, and then he kind of dropped off for a bit. I'm not saying he wasn't working. I'm just
Beetlejuice.
saying he wasn't like. And then he just came out strong with like Birdman. I think was one of the biggest like.
Yeah, he won an
He's
Oscar.
that kind of. Yeah, so got him, and pretty much he's playing like an old actor that played Batman was essentially like
Yeah.
his like role in that. And then of course he did Vulture, and he just nails it on Vulture. And apparently apparently Vulture's supposed to come back for the Morbius movie.
Oh yeah.
He's in the trailer.
Crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So
That's interesting.
apparently, I mean, it shows Michael Keaton. A lot of people are speculating that he's supposed to be Vulture.
Well,
I
like
could be wrong. Like, who knows, right? Like, who knows where they're connecting? Is that just a deleted scene, or is that just like an after credit scene? Who the hell knows?
interesting. But like,
But
think about
apparently,
this.
there's a connection.
Like, it would be amazing to have an old Batman and do one. You could do Dark Knight Returns, or like like Batman. Dark Knight Returns.
I mean, it
Or
almost feels like that's what they were supposed to do with Affleck.
maybe, yeah.
Because Affleck is in his like what 50s now.
Is he? He looks great. I mean, he's
I
hitting the
mean, dude,
weights.
50s now. Think of 50s now, and look at like Cocoon. Like those old people are like were in their 50s at that time. You know what I mean?
know.
Like, and they look so old.
They didn't have vitamins.
It's crazy.
I know.
Age nowadays is insane. Yeah, let me see. Ben Affleck.
You know, I think he's
Sure,
only in his
50s.
40s, mid to
Oh
late
no, I
40s.
was wrong. Yeah, he's 47. He's
Okay.
47. My
Still,
bad. That's my bad.
yeah. But yeah, the other thing you could do is Batman Beyond. You could be Bruce Wayne. There could be a younger Batman in that cool Batman suit.
Yeah, I've never watched Batman Beyond, but I heard it's really good. And yeah, that would be an interesting. Again, they like you can make the problem isn't making more Batman, but make it interesting, make it fresh. You know what I mean? Like people don't. It's kind of like the Spider-Man thing. Stop reviving Spider-Man so damn much, and that's why I guess the Homecoming worked a little bit better. Is because like you know the story. We're not going to show it to you again.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Change it up, you know, and having like Iron Man be the mentor. It just it keeps it fresh. It may not be fully according to the comics, but at least it's keeping it fresh, keeping it new. I mean, we're already seeing a new Batman with Robert Pattinson, and I'm kind of excited for that as well.
Yeah,
coming in as the Batman.
I've got hope for it, you
Yeah,
know?
apparently that's supposed to be like kind of like what they did with the Joker, where it's supposed to be like it's not part of the DCEU, it's just part of its own like little standalone kind of situation. I mean, and that's fine. Honestly, at this point, like people shouldn't. The DC universe feels very much like the X-Men universe
Oh, it's just
in terms
all
of like
pieced
who
together.
cares that it's like right, like it doesn't work.
No.
Like you have what was that? I forget his name, but essentially he goes from being a black played by a black man, like a black actor in one movie, and then the next one it's like Peter Dinklage plays him when you know what I mean. Like it's just
Oh,
like a
yeah,
whole
yeah,
bunch of
yeah.
things like that. I mean, I guess Batman did that too, right? With
Morgan Freeman?
Harvey,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Morgan Freeman.
Well, as Fox.
No, I guess no. But what I was talking about, oh my god, I'm blanking on his name.
Harvey Dent?
Yeah, Lando. Why am I
Oh,
blanking on
yeah,
his?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
he was
yeah.
originally Harvey Dent, right, and then switched out to Tommy Lee Jones, which I guess could actually lead us into our next talking. Speaking of Tommy Lee Jones and Batman and Harvey Dent and Two-Face, apparently there's petition for bringing in a Batman Forever cut, extended cut. Apparently there's like an extra like hour
Yeah.
missing from the cut,
Do you
and
know what the hashtag is?
no,
Release the 20,000 cut. And do you know why it's called the 20,000 cut?
no idea.
So, the late director,
Schumacher?
Schumacher.
He's dead?
Yeah, Schumacher died.
Oh, I did not know that. Did he die recently?
Yeah, like a few weeks ago.
And I have not been keeping up on anything.
You don't know about the bubble. You don't know about Schumacher. You don't know
No.
about the extra bit of Batman.
Yeah, I'm lacking on here right now.
What have you been doing? Yeah, unfortunately,
Just
Joel
holding up
Schumacher.
watching movies, apparently.
Yeah, unfortunately,
Watching
Joel.
Bond movies is what I've been doing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
He directed a Bond movie.
Schumacher?
Schumacher directed. Was it Diamonds or is it? Yeah, he directed one of the. No, I don't think it's Diamonds Are Forever. It's one of the other.
No, you are wrong on that. Schumacher did not direct any of the, at least none of the ones I got so far, and I'm just about to hit Dalton. I think you're wrong on that. I don't think Schumacher did a Bond film. He could, again, I could be wrong in terms of he could have been doing it, but like so far, I don't think I've seen one yet. You are completely wrong. No, there is no Joel Schumacher. He might have produced one, but no. A lot of Guy Hamilton, Terrence Young, and John Glenn. And of course, my two favorites being GoldenEye and Casino Royale, both directed by my boy Martin Campbell. But there is no Joel Schumacher. Get the hell out of here. You don't know what you're talking about.
I could have swore there was a Bond that he did. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I thought I saw that on one of the things he directed.
He might have produced, but no. Did he do Lost Boys? That's a movie.
Yeah, I believe he did that. But yeah.
Batman and Robin, Batman Forever, Lost Boys, Falling Down, Sam Elmo's Fire, A Time to Kill. Maybe that because it sounds like a Bond movie.
Yeah, maybe. Either way, so the reason why they're saying the release the 20,000 cut is because he allegedly hooked up with 20,000 dudes.
What?
Yeah, that's like something he would brag about. Like he laid pipe.
That's a lot of pipe.
Yeah.
That's a lot of dudes.
Yeah, so he's pretty like vocal about it, I guess. And he was.
Well, I mean, wasn't he vocal about like why he, or at least a lot of people thought like that's why he wanted like bat nipples, and there's a lot of like butt shots and stuff.
Yeah, it's
in those Batman movies. At least I think there's speculations on that.
Who knows?
Towards that.
But yeah, I don't know. He's come out and said, yeah, you know what? It's not a great movie.
Well, you know what though? I liked Batman Forever. That's probably one of my favorite in the I guess in the original Batman saga of
Really?
film. Yeah, well, I grew up watching it a lot, and
So it has that like childhood like.
yeah, I mean, I think I've talked about it before, but yeah, like Batman and Robin is a lot of fun. But that's because Arnold makes a lot of fun. But Batman Forever, I was a big
So
Jim Carrey
cringy.
fan growing up, and I don't know, Batman Forever, I think was probably like the first Batman movie I'd watch. I didn't see the first Batman 1989 and Batman Returns for like much longer, like much later. But I guess that was the thing, right? Like Batman Forever, Batman and Robin were more catered to kind of kids and to toys. But I guess
Oh
this is what
yeah,
this
the
cut was
Burger King
supposed to be,
toys.
right? Yeah.
That was
Well,
where it was at.
that's I think that's why Tim Burton had dropped out, why everyone had dropped out, because they were essentially telling like, no, we're trying to sell toys here, like stop making it so violent. And yeah, so I guess that's what this cut's supposed to be, a more serious, I guess.
Yeah, some stuff to do with like Bruce's repressed memories and things like that. I don't know. Look, if it comes out, I'd be willing to watch it. Just more Batman. I am always happy about.
Yeah, I mean, and for me, because it's one of my favorite of those. Plus, you got the beginning of Robin in that one, and I don't
Yeah.
know. I really liked it.
Yeah, look, it is kind of neat, like that this exists out there. But honestly, there's probably so many films that we like that have stuff on the cutting room floor. Like it's just the reality of making a movie and like something of that big of a scope. There's probably reshoots and
Absolutely.
a
And
bunch of
like
different
sometimes I like
things.
looking at those deleted scenes and you look at them and you're going like, I could see why they cut this. But then
Yeah.
there are other times where I look at it, I'm like, you know what? This like extra 2 minutes, I feel like would have been a very good add-on to it. So who knows where Batman Forever sits? To have that much cut out makes it seem like it might have been cut out due to like changing the tonal shift on it and changing kind of just making up for like kind of what the studio versus
Well,
the look is. But because like what are we getting now? We're getting the Snyder cut. People are trying to get like a Batman Forever cut. Apparently there's I had heard David Ayer, the guy that did Suicide Squad, apparently is also campaigning for his version of Suicide Squad to
which
be
I
released.
get, like that is something right when it came out people wanted to see, right? Because you know the story behind that one, right?
Well, I don't think I know that one. I know he made Bright. I liked Bright, and a lot of people didn't like Bright. I enjoyed it for what it
That's
was.
Will Smith, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's pretty much. I forget his movie with Jake Gyllenhaal. End of the Line, End of something.
Is that the
That
one?
movie was really good.
Is that the
Where
one?
it's like lost footage film where it's about like
Oh,
two policemen.
yeah, Michael Pena or whatever is in it. Yeah, I know
Yeah.
which one you're talking. The cops. That was a great film. I got
Oh,
free
it's so
tickets to
good.
that. I didn't want to go, but it was like some radio station promotion. I got free tickets,
Okay. Yeah.
and I was like, well, I don't know. It's a free movie. Can't say no. And then we left, and we're like, wow, that was a really good movie.
I mean, it's a little strong on language, and I feel like sometimes movies that are just like F this, F that, F this, F that kind of get a little tiresome a little bit on that like language aspect of it. I know I sound kind of prudish, but like sometimes language just like it could just be so overwhelming.
Yeah. Fair.
But no, I really loved the story of it. I thought it was a really good movie. And then like a Bright kind of feels similar to that, like a little bit obviously more in a. They kind of toned it down and made it like it's like D&D or like modern Lord of the Rings, like cops kind of thing, right? And I enjoyed it for what it was, but no, that I think it's called End of the Line.
Okay.
Could be wrong, but I no, I don't. Sorry, I cut you off on the David Ayer.
Oh, Suicide
rumor on
Squad
that.
stuff. So what happened was he had a cut of the film, and then
End of Watch. It's called. Sorry.
okay, good. Yeah, he had a cut of Suicide Squad, and then that trailer dropped, and then people loved the trailer so much. The studio was like, "Oh,
Yes.
we're gonna get that studio to recut the film that cut the trailer," and he was like, "What? No!" But they were like, because like everything's so like I don't know. So much of DC, it seems, it's like the executives kind of control everything. But
Yeah.
they recut it, and he was like, "Well,
Yeah.
it wasn't
I
exactly
think
what
we've
I
talked
wanted."
about
And a
this
few other
before.
people
Yeah.
have said like, "Yeah, it is what it
But I'm
is."
pretty
But
sure Ayer, yeah, was very. I guess it almost felt like he just didn't want to lose a job and like be blacklisted
well, that seems
because
like what happens,
I'm
right?
pretty sure that's what he said, right? Like he was saying like, oh, you know what? Yeah, no, this is my cut kind of thing. Like I'm fine with it, right?
Because that's what happened to the guy who did the Fantastic Four movie, right? He came
Yeah, but I
out
mean,
like after they did it, and he's like, "This is not the movie I wanted to make," and whatever, right? And he's
I
been
guess
blacklisted ever since.
it's hard to do, right? Like because sometimes like where do you take the um
That information, like you leak it, and then
like where do you sometimes it can't be trusted, right? Like if the movie fails, some people might be like, "Oh, are you just blaming it on the studio because it kind of sucked?" You're like giving the blame. Like, where does the blame fall into in someone's hands sometimes, right? Like, did you even have anything to do in regards to that, or like, is it actually really the studio? Is kind of my
I guess
thing. I will
well,
say, Fantastic Four sucked.
it was pretty bad.
It was so bad.
Like
I
it was
did not think it
embarrassingly
was that
bad.
bad. It was awful.
But in the
And you know what?
way,
I was a fan of and a lot of people like didn't like the original two Fantastic Four movies. And I'm not talking about that one that was made just to keep the rights
the
that was never released there.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
I always wanted to see that one. But I liked the Chris Evans Fantastic. I don't remember the
Jessica
sequel very much,
Alba.
but the first one,
It
I
was
enjoyed it.
fun. Like it
I was a
was.
kid. It was fun. Like I had a lot of fun with it.
It's
I don't know if
on.
it holds up now.
It's on Disney Plus now. Like it's not like it's a bad movie, but it's like fine. And you know what? Like
You know what I think it is? It's because we didn't know any better, right? Like there wasn't so much going out at the time.
I think I don't even know if that first Sam Raimi Spider-Man came out yet, or they were both around the same time. So like
No, it came out much later.
okay, but like that's all we had like comic book movie wise that wasn't in the Marvel.
Yeah, it came out in 2005. Spider-Man, pretty sure came out in 2001 or 1998.
Yeah, I do remember it was something around the 2000 like 9/11 essentially.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? So I think it was like 2002 then if it was a release on it. But yeah, it was still early for Spider-Man movies, still early for superhero movies, right? There was Blade, Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, like not much was out there to really give it all that. Obviously, looking it back now, of course, there's much different situations, but no, obviously, Fantastic Four, the remake, reboot, whatever you want to call it, was just atrocious.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I remember Trank, kind of blaming the studio on that one for all its thing. But like, I guess you got to take everything with a grain of salt. I feel like
Yeah.
we don't really know what exactly happened. What are the things? So even with David Ayer, right? Like with any cut, right? Like the Snyder cut, the Batman Forever cut, the David Ayer cut, any cut on stuff like look at Blade Runner, how many cuts that movie's got.
I know, right? And there's still debate. People have debates all the time about.
Absolutely, or look at Mallrats. I'm pretty sure Mallrats director's cut, and I think it's like at the beginning of the movie when he talks about it. Kevin Smith was like, you know what, I did it, and it's not as good as the original.
I do remember him talking about that. That's interesting. You say that. Yeah, because you can watch that director's cut.
It's not as good.
Well, he does say too, like he's like, oh, there's like missing frames every now and then because this is the only version of the print we could find. So it has frames where they cut, because they cut that movie like old school, like on a kiln. So if you don't know, back in the day before computer stuff, you actually had to use like almost like scissors.
Literally cut the film,
paste
like,
it
taped
in,
it together.
And there was like a big table that you were able to display it and edit the film. But yeah, because the editor made that whole intro sequence with all the comics and that song playing, and yeah, I don't know. I like Mallrats. That's probably one of my all-time favorite movies as a kid. Like young adult.
I mean, I think Mallrats is one of my favorite Smith movies.
Yeah, that Dogma was always great. I always watched Dogma.
Same. It was Dogma and Mallrats. Like I couldn't really get into Clerks or couldn't really get into
The
other
Clerks
movies, but
2, I think that's his best movie. Like it's a good movie, you know?
I haven't seen it in a while. I remember I didn't really like Clerks 1. To me, it was just again, but then again, it's weird, right? Like I can rewatch those movies and have a completely different opinion.
Yeah.
Now it's about like life experience and like more now. You know more about film now. It's like I mean, like you just over time your experience and your tastes grow.
Yeah.
That sometimes not seeing a movie for a while,
You know
like
what's
a
even
buddy of
better
me.
than Clerks is Clerks the 10th anniversary DVD behind the scenes of making Clerks.
Just it. I thought you were gonna say the Clerks animated TV show.
That was funny too.
But yeah, I was just speaking of like different like tastes and stuff. Like a friend of mine, he started rewatching all the Bond movies, like because he didn't have anything else to do after work. So he's like, you know what, like why not? And then I followed suit because it gave me the idea. I'm like, you know what, like I want to talk to him about it. And I'm like, I haven't seen them in forever, so I'm gonna watch them. And he hadn't seen Casino Royale since he was like a kid. Like he saw it like at the movie theater
It
when he
makes me
was
feel
like
so old.
10. Yeah. And that was his like first Bond movie, and for me,
Wait, did he see
this time,
the original Casino Royale with Peter
oh
Sellers?
my God, no, he hasn't seen it. I own them. I've seen it. I don't remember it much though. That has a funny story and like Bond legal things. We can get into whole that, and then I will in a second.
Because there's
Why
two
not?
camps that own the Bond stuff.
Yeah, well,
At
actually,
least
it's all under MGM now. They fully
they
own
bought it
everything.
all. Yeah, I think
Bought it all.
the Barbara
No,
Broccoli.
Bond has a really interesting situation. So, finish my point and I'll go into that because why not, right? Like, who's going to stop us in terms of what we need to talk about? Nothing. We can talk about anything we want right now.
For as long as we want.
Yeah.
As
Welcome to
long
the
as
podcast, bitches.
as long as I have batteries to power my recorder.
Yeah. So essentially, when as a kid, he didn't like Casino Royale. Talk about the
Your
Daniel
friend.
Craig one. Yeah, my
Or Daniel
friend.
Craig didn't
And
like.
but like his favorite was GoldenEye, and so is mine. My favorite Bond movie is GoldenEye. I grew up on the Brandon. I was about to say Brandon Fraser.
Brandon
Jesus.
Fraser as James Bond.
Brandon Fraser as James Bond. No, Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah, Brosnan.
Brosnan. I grew up on Pierce Brosnan. That's like my Bond.
Okay.
Growing up, Die Another Day was the first movie I ever saw at the theater, first Bond movie. But anyways, let's be on that. So he didn't like Casino Royale, and of course, when watching it, I was excited to see like what he felt about it because Casino Royale is probably it's my second favorite. Like GoldenEye, it may not be the best Bond movie, but I like it. I don't know why. It's a fun movie. But Casino Royale is probably the best Bond film
Really?
it's been made, at least to me, and they're both directed by Martin Campbell. Like those are the only two Martin Campbell, and I didn't know that for a long time. Like those are my two favorites. But same here. When I saw Casino Royale first time, I was like, I don't know, it's weird. It's like it's too serious. It doesn't make it's not Bond. But then rewatching, you're like, man, it is so good. And I guess it's one of the closest ones to the book. But he felt the same way when he saw it. He's like, you know what? Yeah, Matt, you're right. Like this is the best Bond movie. Like at least like for him too, like so it's weird seeing like a different opinion, right? Like sometimes you're watching a movie you might not be in the right mood for, and you watch it again, you're like, wow, what was I talking about?
So Casino Royale is the one that starts with the black and white intro, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
think
the
I
one that
liked
starts
some of that. I didn't like Quantum of Solace.
A lot of people didn't,
Um,
and then a lot of people really liked Skyfall.
I love Sky. I think Skyfall was my favorite of the new
I haven't
Bonds.
seen I only saw it once. I'm not there yet. I'm in the Dalton phase. I'm about to. I'll get to it eventually.
You know what? The Dalton
in
phase,
like a week.
it's a phase that gets like overlooked a lot. But
I liked it when I watched it.
The
honestly.
License to Kill, man, that one's a great one. The Living Daylights, it's got.
That's my next one. That's my next one.
It's got Gimli in it. Or Sala, you know.
John Rhys Davis.
Yeah, he's in it.
Yeah. You know what though? Like, I'm not a big fan of Connery or Moore.
Really?
I will
Okay.
say, yeah. Honestly, they're not my favorite. Like Connery's movies. Man, they are. They are not of this time. They are not PC whatsoever. It's
Oh no,
crazy.
not at
They
all.
are so bad. But I don't know. I will say the best Connery for me was From Russia with Love.
Okay.
It's the one that kept me kind of like, you know what I mean, like I feel like the Bond formula went with here's all this setup and exposition for an hour, and then the last or actually sorry, these movies are like always 2 hours, but like the third act was always what you were waiting for
Yeah.
in a Bond movie, because that's when shit gets like derailed and all a bunch of action happens,
Yeah.
right? But like rewatching it now, you're like, man, some of this does not make any sense, and some of these plots and some of these villains, like, what is their plan? But From Russia with Love is such a simple, like, it's actually really simple. It's a revenge story, is essentially what it is. It's a revenge story because Bond. Spoiler alert: if you haven't seen Doctor No, Bond killed Doctor No, and Spectre is trying to get back at him for it. Is essentially that's the main plot of it. So it's not super overly complicated. It might feel overly complicated, but it actually has a very basic plot. I don't know. It's one of the most grounded Bond movies out there. But Roger Moore's movies are just take a freaking like that. Those movies are
they changed.
bonkers.
They changed like the style so much, eh?
Oh well, because like the first two, Doctor No, you got Doctor No, From
Goldfinger's when
Russia with
they
Love,
made the template of here's like the
Goldfinger.
start. Yeah,
Yeah.
Goldfinger.
You see, you think that, but From Russia with Love actually has a lot of it. Like has a lot of the, because that's the first introduction to Q. There's a lot of people, yeah, say Goldfinger is where, but I beg to differ. I think From Russia with Love really started it in terms of bringing the formula. I guess the Goldfinger brings the car and brings a little bit extra stuff, but it builds upon what From Russia with Love. It's the strongest one to me, From Russia with Love.
And then
Um,
Thunderball, like Thunderball was one
oh
too
man,
that I love
Thunderball is
thought
a
Thunderball.
weird story.
I love that one when I was a kid. I had no idea it was not made by the original three people, and Connery was just like, yeah, sure, I'll do it, whatever. Like it,
No, you're wrong. So Thunderball is part of the original.
I thought Thunderball was made by a different team.
No. Well, you're yes and no. So this is where essentially two guys and Ian Fleming wrote a screen, like a script called it's called something else, something like Under the Sea, something. It was called something, but it was pretty much essentially the script for Thunderball,
Oh,
and they couldn't get it done. This was prior to the whole Doctor No. This was prior to the like Eon
okay,
007, right? Or UA, I think. The
okay.
company that makes, I think, is United Artists
Oh
that
yeah, yeah,
owns
yeah, yeah.
or it's United Artists or Eon. I forget which one it is, but whoever makes the Bond, right? The broccoli
The cubby broccoli,
and
yeah.
yeah. So those guys, before then, Ian Fleming was trying to make a Bond film, and no one wanted the Thunderball script. So then he decided to take that script and turn it into a book, which became
Oh,
the Thunderball book. And then, of course, the people that he worked on the script with never got any recognition for the book. So they went to court. And then there was like this whole legal dispute on the book itself, and essentially gave permission to I forget his name, but to one of the guys to saying like he now owns also the rights to Thunderball the book.
yeah.
But by that time, the movies were already starting to be made, and that's how Thunderball ended up being made actually ahead of time in its chronological order in the books. The movies are a little weird, and a lot of people and it brings up a lot of like debate on, is James Bond just his like a code name where it's played by different actors? It's actually supposed to be different people because of one of the movies that happens after Thunderball.
You only live
Because
twice,
essentially
or your Majesty, on Her
no, it's
Majesty's.
Your Majesty's Secret Service meets Blofeld, and Blofeld doesn't have a scar, and he looks different in other movies. but he doesn't recognize Bond, even though in I think it's Thunderball. I could be wrong. He actually like talks to Blofeld, and Blofeld like knows who James Bond is, and then the next one he doesn't recognize him at all. Right? Like, it doesn't make any sense. But it's
Right.
because, and it's not, and it's literally because the books that they're based on, Thunderball happens after On Your Majesty's Secret Service.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's like the order's kind of wrong on it, so, and it's weird that way. But they wanted to make Thunderball first
I
because
think you're meaning like he meets Blofeld in You Only Live Twice.
that's right. Yes,
Because I think
you
it's
are right.
what
Yes,
is it?
my bad. Yes,
It's like that's where they have the.
that movie's bonkers and racist.
Oh my god! Like they make him
Super
Asian.
racist.
They have him disguised as
I
like.
hadn't seen that one. Oh, you only live twice, and on your Majesty's Secret. So I never seen. I didn't even know. I didn't know about You Only Live Twice because I was looking through my collection. I was like, hold on, wait, what? When I got to You Only Live, I'm like, I don't have this movie. What?
Yeah.
These I've never seen it, so I had to watch it online. But
when it gets to that part, even like, oh man, Roald Dahl wrote the screenplay to You Only Live
yeah,
Twice.
isn't that weird? It's because Roald Dahl was supposed to write Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. And he's a big fan, and he's a friend of Ian Fleming. So apparently they just like, wouldn't it be fun if we just switched? So then Roald Dahl wrote You Only Live Twice, and Ian Fleming wrote Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
I like, aside from like the really racist part, I like the sci-fi aspect of it, of like this spaceship capturing other spaceships, trying to get the U.S. and Russia to go to war. You know.
It's bizarre. It's a bizarre film.
But
yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's when he meets Blofeld. But yeah, that movie is that's supposed to take place after you're on Your Majesty's Secret Service. So it all kind of gets jumbled up and mixed up. So a lot of people are like, well, no, see, he doesn't recognize him because it's a different player, a different person playing James Bond. But no, it's all supposed to be the same because of the reference to James Bond's first wife.
Yes, which in On Her Majesty's Secret Service, it's the only movie where Bond gets married.
Yeah. Dude, that ending is terrific.
I know.
I was like, holy crap. I'd never seen that movie, and I watched, I was like, oh man, what an ending.
Yeah. It's not my favorite Bond movie, like, but it does have one of the better.
It's got some good action, and, I would have liked to see more George Lazenby.
Yeah, he was all right. He was like, if you want to talk about people,
I would have liked to see more of him. It was like we didn't get enough to give an opinion of if he's good or not. Like, one movie wasn't enough. Felt like I needed more.
But yeah, moving into the other era with
Moore.
What's that?
Roger Moore, you mean?
Yeah, with Moore. I don't know why. It's like I like them all for different reasons. It's not like I have a favorite. But I will say, like, The Spy Who Loved Me, Moonraker, like, those were some of my favorites as a kid that I always come back to. I don't know if it's just because, like, the sci-fi. Yeah, well, there's an element of, like, the sci-fi-ness of it.
I liked Moonraker when I was a kid. That was my favorite one that I remember. And then I rewatched it, and it's bonkers.
Moonraker?
I will say, yeah, Moonraker. Old Bond movies, for some reason, have to have the ending be like the good guys' army versus the bad guys' army.
Yeah.
They have that in Thunderball, where like it's all underwater. But in Moonraker, it's even more ridiculous when they're having this in space. Bunch
battle.
of astronauts shooting each other with like lasers. It's so dumb. It's so dumb.
It's so weird.
So entertaining.
But like Man with the Golden Gun, though, that's another one too. Like, it has Gandalf, or not Gandalf, what's his Ahriman. And man, like, what a cool fucking premise that was, you know?
Yeah, I always liked Nick Nack. He's always a lot of fun. But no, Roger Moore's movies are more ridiculous, more over the top.
And that was like that 70s, and they were trying to, like, I don't know, compete.
I will say my favorite of the Moores is the one I just finished. Oh my God, why am I blanking on that?
For Your Eyes, Moonraker.
Octopussy was a lot of fun.
Live and Let Die.
Oh, I hated Live and Let Die.
It wasn't my favorite.
Live and Let Die was my least favorite of the Roger Moore.
Yeah, it definitely
series.
wasn't my favorite. Man with a Golden Gun, Spy Who Loved Me was probably my favorite, like, of his era.
Yeah, my friends also loved Spy Who Loved Me. No, I really like The View to a Kill with Walken as the villain. Walken is great. Walken is just like chewing and like I love
chewing the
Walken
scenery. Yeah,
having so much fun with it. The best part is when he's like all his like workers are getting like are drowning in the mine, but instead of letting him die, no, it's not enough. He has to shoot them with a machine gun at the same time.
I know.
It's so over the top
I
evil. It's
know.
so great. I loved it.
Uh,
But go back. I guess I'll finish the Thunderball situation. So they made Thunderball early because they were afraid that the other guy that owned Thunderball was going to make his own movie, so they needed to make it before. And then they made a deal with them saying like you can't make a Thunderball movie for 10 years or something. So then in the 80s, it's weird, where essentially the guy that owned it wanted to like produce his own James Bond movie, and it was almost kind of a big fu to the Bond series, that they wanted to make their own independent Bond film, and that was Never Say Never Again.
yeah, okay, that makes sense, because that's when Connery came back for a short minute.
That's when he came back for like a lot of money, but
He's so
that
old
movie
in that
is
one.
weird, man. That
I
movie
know.
is weird.
I never liked that one. That wasn't my favorite, but
because it's a remake. It's a remake of Thunderball, and it has very much the same plot. But they like the script was weird. Apparently, I was looking at behind the scenes stuff, but they couldn't get approved. They had to get an approval. So once like a thing happened in the script, they had to get approval and make sure, because they can't deviate too much from the book, because that's what that was the law, right? That was the legal section of the only way they could make a Bond movie is they had to stick to the Thunderball book. So anytime like the script was changing, they had to make sure that it was still legally available. But yeah, that's an Irvin Kershner film.
I know. I was just gonna say, like, Kershner, who you may know from Empire
Star
Strikes
Wars
Back,
movie.
possibly one of the best Star Wars films ever made. But yeah, Max von Sydow too. He plays Blofeld.
Yeah.
You know what? I haven't seen Never Say Never Again in a long time. That's probably was.
It has it has some great fighting scenes, and I think my favorite scene is when he fights. I forget the name in Never Say Never Again, but it's the big Nazi guy from Raiders.
Oh, Klaus.
At the fight scene.
Okay.
At the plane scene there.
Yeah.
But like this time he's got like hair and it looks like a wig and like a fake beard, but it's great. It's a great scene because it's like when they're fighting, like clearly Bond is older and he's slipping around. He's like, he's having trouble fighting, which is a lot of fun.
Oh, it's hilarious.
But no, that scene's great. But yeah, there was a lot of weird stuff happening with the Bond movie, because then there was the Casino Royale thing where someone bought the rights to the Casino Royale, but by the time it was time to make the movie, Dr. No had come out. So then they're like, well, crap. Let's just turn it into a parody.
And they had Peter Sellers
play
Bond. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of interesting.
A lot of weird history. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the Dalton Bonds, the two of them.
I don't remember them. I remember liking them when I watched them, but I don't remember them anymore.
I think the storyline.
I'm excited to get to them.
Have you watched License to Kill? No.
Oh, I haven't. I just finished A View to a Kill. So I just finished.
Okay.
I've been watching them like after work. So
man, I want to live in your world right now. You don't know about the bubble. You don't know about Joel Schumacher. You're just watching James Bond straight.
Just watching Bond movies. Like it's like I'm a kid right now.
You're living in the past.
About the world.
Are you just eating?
And just watching movies.
Are you just
I
eating?
decide to ignore everything.
Are you eating just cereal and milk and sitting crisscross applesauce?
Actually, I did. I was eating cereal. That's what I had for lunch today. It's just a bowl of cereal, man.
Good for you. Good for you.
I am 30 years old and I'm going through a weird midlife crisis.
I hope it's not midlife.
I know, right? I am fat. So we'll see.
Yeah, and you're eating cereal on the ground.
Yeah, exactly. I think my milk's going sour.
Oh, good.
Need to get more.
Oh, good. So yeah, after that really long
Bond
rabbit hole
detour. I guess we could finish off with the last thing we were talking about, the Whedon. Yeah,
so some of the Whedon drama. So Ray Fisher, who plays Cyborg in the new DCU, he's put Whedon on blast on the interwebs.
On his Twitter, eh?
Yeah, on his Twitter, he's saying like Whedon's on-set treatment of the cast and crew. Justice League was gross, abusive, unprofessional, and completely unacceptable. He said he was enabled by Jeff Johns, the producer, and John Berg. So he was yet to specify what went on and what the specifics were. I don't know. I guess we'll never really know, right? What happened?
It'll ever come out.
I wonder what's, like when Game of Thrones had their thing, and then all the stories started to slowly leak out about those two people. Like they were offered Star Wars, and they decided not to do more seasons of Game of Thrones and just wrap it up in one season. HBO
What?
Yeah, they were
again.
offered,
That's another like the bubble. I haven't heard anything of that.
This is a while ago, but they were offered.
This is old news.
It's like,
I mean, we went real old this time.
D.B. Weiss and the other guy or whatever, D&D they call them. But yeah, essentially they were offered like, look, you can do like 3-4 more seasons, whatever you want. People are watching this. It's making money. Like,
yeah.
And George R.R. Martin was like, yeah, like, look, we can stretch this for a while and really build it up and play it out.
He just wanted time to finish his book.
He could have, yeah. He could have been delaying. But yeah, I guess Martin had told them how he's going to end it, which is apparently what they did on the show.
Really? I haven't seen it. I've yet to finish it.
I won't spoil it. But essentially they just, they're like, no, we essentially got this Star Wars gig. They didn't want to pass it to anyone else. They wouldn't give it up either. So that's the other thing. Like, they could have just left their name on it and went off to do Star Wars or do whatever they want. And it like, they would have been fine. Like, it was like somebody else would have taken over and,
right.
It's still all the same writers. It's just they're having their final say, whatever. But no, they're like, yeah, we're going to do one last season. We're not even going to do the full amount of episodes HBO wants us to do. They're going to do 8 instead of 10. And yeah, it just... a lot of people are upset with the ending of Game of Thrones, myself being one of them. It just was like, okay, I guess, So that being said, like, see, I don't know, like, more stuff will come out. Like, was Whedon the worst person ever to work for on this thing? I haven't heard a ton about Whedon on set. I have heard like studio people say he's difficult to work with, but then you're like,
I thought it was the opposite.
Oh, really? Because I've heard, yeah, like, because he had to fight a lot to keep stuff in Avenger movies that a lot of people.
That's last I heard. I always liked Joss Whedon stuff like Buffy and.
Did you ever watch Dollhouse?
Firefly, Dollhouse. Oh yeah.
I love Dollhouse.
I've seen all his TV shows. I wish more Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was on. I don't think that's on Disney Plus yet, and it's like, come on, I've only seen season 1. I want to see more. Yeah,
look, I don't want to discredit anything that Ray Fisher was saying. I'm sure he must have felt really hurt to put that out there.
Especially if this is like, because like this is his only role, right? Like,
it's bold. It's bold move, Cotton.
Yeah, let's see how it plays out. And so I don't think he would say anything to hurt his career unless it was important.
Yeah.
And this could really hurt his career in saying something like, so yeah, no, I'm not discrediting anything he's saying. I'm just saying, like, I've always liked Joss Whedon's stuff. But who knows, right? Like, who knows what this guy's been going on for a while. Like, I enjoy watching Kevin Spacey movies because I like Kevin Spacey, the actor, but I do not condone anything that Kevin Spacey, the person, has. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
that's what's tough, eh? All these things that you used to love.
It is. A lot of people are like, oh, well, this person did something, so you shouldn't watch any. But it's like, but what if I like those movies? Or what if I like...
I know, it's tough,
like, I can't watch Baby Driver anymore. Or I can't watch this. Or I can't watch that. But
can't watch Cosby Show anymore.
I feel like there has to be at one point, a disconnect between I'm watching it for the entertainment value of what it is, right? Like, I'm not like Kevin Spacey. He's a great actor.
He is.
Shitty person.
Yeah.
He was a great actor. Like, I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, I can separate the two. You know what I mean? I can understand, like, okay. And I know, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing or a good thing. I'm just saying, like, I shouldn't be judged for watching something that someone has made and not still liking it because I don't know.
the end of the
I'm not
day, yeah, it's good.
gonna.
It's a good
At
performance.
the end of the day, exactly. At the end of the day, sure, he did a good job, and I'm not gonna not watch Baby Driver or any other Kevin Spacey related films just because he's in it or because I liked his performance. And it does it's not just for Kevin Spacey. It's just I don't know. He's a bad person. I get it. I don't like him as a person. It doesn't mean I can't enjoy a movie that he's in, right? Like All the Money in the World. I would have liked to see the role that he was originally doing. I'm not saying that
That's the next cut people petition for like decades
I
from
don't
now.
think so. Honestly, I don't think so. I think people were
Decades
happy with
from
it. You
now.
know what? All the time in the world, like it was great. I liked it. I think it would have been interesting to see Kevin Spacey in it, and I don't fully. I get why they did it.
Yeah.
To me, I would have been fine watching it without. You know what I mean? Like if Kevin Spacey was still in, I'd be like, okay. But I get why they did it. I
Yeah, it makes
understand why
sense.
they
It
did
makes
it.
sense. I think they would have been murdered online if they left him in.
That's the thing, right? People have a hard time disconnecting a performance versus a person. I
Yeah,
get it. Sometimes your heroes turn out to be dicks.
that
I get
sucks.
that.
So it would
You know what I
suck
mean?
if
Like,
Whedon was kind of shitty on set. I will say, like, he was already going to step into kind of a thankless job no matter what, you know? Like replacing Snyder, which
no, I mean,
now we
if
know it maybe that wasn't like an amicable thing too. It seemed like Snyder was forced out.
yeah.
And then you come in and
That's the thing. Will we ever know what happens going on? Like, if I ever find out, my precious Tom Hanks is involved in some crazy conspiracy and it turns out to be
Epstein
true, like,
Island.
yeah, right. Like, I don't want to believe it, and if it happens to be true, it's like,
Not
oh
Tom
shit,
Hanks. Not
right?
him.
Like that'll break me.
I know.
Spielberg and Tom Hanks, man. Like, come on.
I know.
I know it's just your heroes are not perfect, and of course, I'm not saying that there are not monsters out there. Joss Whedon, did he say those things? What is he abusing? He could be, and if he did those things, he shouldn't have said and been done those things. But
Yeah.
will we ever know the full story? I guess I'm a curious person. I always like to know why. I like asking those questions. I'm that kid, like, why? Well, why?
Yeah.
Why? Tell me why.
I
Not
wonder
not
just
just
like
the because I said so. No. Tell me why. I'd love to know the full story.
yeah.
Will we ever get that story? I don't know.
I wonder just like the stress of making a Justice League movie and you're not even like there from the start. You're coming in last minute and having to make
Yeah.
something
Going in last minute and everyone expecting you to pull off another Avengers before the
yeah.
other side and like who knows? But
He
I
could
don't
have
think
just
in any way
been
we're condoning.
no, we're not
We're
condoning
not.
it, but I could see him being maybe short or shitty with people on set. Who knows? That or maybe he was
But
the guy that like the studio was like, we hate what Snyder's doing. Here's what we want you to do. And he had to like go do it because he's like, well, I guess, yeah, I'm being paid all this
yeah,
money.
but at the same time, if he did those things, I mean, he should have probably done a better job
Making the
at not
movie.
doing the all the. I mean, yes, but also at the same time of if he was abusive and stuff, like obviously there was definitely probably better ways to get what you wanted without being abused. Don't be a Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah,
You don't have to be shitty to your actors to get good
I
performances.
know. Imagine him like today having to answer
Oh
for what he did
man,
to the
yeah,
to the
that's imagine
the
that. Yeah,
woman there
Stanley
on
Kubrick in today's times.
yeah,
With I'm forgetting. Is it
Shelley,
Shelley?
yeah, something like
Yeah,
that. But yeah, like he just
just
tortured her
terrorizing
and
her, giving her
terrorized her.
PTSD for like
I
forever.
know. So that's something. But who knows? Look, like my instinct is to like stand up for directors in a way, being one. But we weren't there. We don't know. But also, just it seems just like everything around that movie is just a hot pile of garbage. You know,
Is I think so too.
everything around these DC movies, like I don't know. There's just so much that's like, what is happening here?
And will it ever come? Like someone who's listening or someone who's not listening, someone make a documentary about the whole DC journey. I would love that.
I know, but you might have to wait till like something good comes out.
Oh yeah. This is something that's coming out in like 25 years from now.
I'll be watching that on Netflix. Or probably on Disney Plus, because at that point Disney will own everything.
Or Taco Bell.
Yeah. That's what we should watch soon, is Demolition Man.
Demolition Man, yeah. That was a callback to that.
So yeah, let us know what you guys think, or if you have more dirt on any of these things. We did go off on the James Bond stuff for a long time, but
tell us if you liked anything about that, or if we should just keep going off on tangents when it comes to old news. This is just starting to become just like a podcast talking about anything.
It's some serious old news with going down the Bond rabbit hole.
Very old news.
Especially, there is some relevancy there, because some of the new Bond, was it No Time to Die, has been pushed back, along with many other films. So.
And there we go. That's the tie-in.
Bada
bing, bada boom. Stay classy out there. Stay safe, and hopefully this thing is over.
Stay in your bubble.
Yeah. For now, I guess, right? Like, hopefully this thing ends.
Yeah, who
some
knows?
Point.
Who knows, right?
Like, God, we could be 2 years from now. Like,
I'll never see you again, man.
I hope not. I miss people, man.
Yeah,
I'm not a people person, and people are dumb sometimes. Man, I miss people.
I'll tell you, the bubble thing. The bubble thing's been nice. So.
Yeah, well, I'll check out the bubble thing.
You could go bubble with your buddies. That's what I do. It's good. Bubble with family. It's good.
That's gonna be a new word. Like, what were you doing this weekend? I was bubbling with my family. Cool.
Yeah, bubble. Bubble.
Yo, you busy to bubble? You busy to bubble later?
Can't bubbling. All right, folks. We appreciate you listening. Let us know what you think in the comment section, or on Instagram or Twitter. Facebook as well, we're on there. But we'll be back soon with something fun. Maybe we'll do a commentary. And yeah, we thank you for listening.
That's it, man. Game over, man. Game over.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. And be sure to follow us on Twitter at Lost Commentary, on Instagram at Raiders of the Lost Commentary, and like us on Facebook.
I'll be back.